Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You bet. You've been in office for a month. You've laid out an ambitious agenda, including the creation of a Racial Justice Bureau. What would the Bureau do?
Well, the Racial Justice Bureau is absolutely critical to taking on the current racial justice reckoning that we're in and making sure that we're fighting for more opportunity, more equity, more justice, more inclusion. One of the specific things that the Racial Justice Bureau is going to do, which will have additional attorneys from the DOJ and significant resources allocated to it, is take on the full-on state of emergency and state of crisis that we're in with respect to violence against the API community, hate violence. So standing up for victims, providing support for those who are being attacked, holding accountable those who perpetrate hate violence, and helping victims heal is going to be critical. We're also going to be looking into organizations that are organized around hate and white supremacy and making sure that they are brought to justice if violating the law and hurting Californians. We're going to look at issues like school climate to make sure we're providing support and resources for young people as opposed to punitive responses. So there's quite an array of work, all animated by the driving principle of promoting more racial justice in the state of California through the California Department of Justice.
You also want to hold a virtual gathering of mayors in California to address hate crimes in their cities. Talk about some of the key concerns, especially ones that mayors have brought to you and discussed with you.
You know, right now it's all hands on deck. We need every leader in, whether it be in the community or in elected positions, whether it be city, state level, federal level, county level, working together, rowing in the same direction to help address the state of emergency and state of crisis for the API community. And that means working with big city mayors and making sure that I am using best practices scaled at the state level, that we're sharing ideas and best practices for how to prevent hate violence in the first place, or to hold accountable those who perpetrate it, or to support victims who are hurt by it. So working together is absolutely critical. And we've seen in some of the big cities that I'll be, the mayors of which I'll be working with, some of the most horrific crimes against the API community. In San Francisco, the murder of a Thai man in an act of apparent hate violence. In Oakland, Chinatown, one of our beloved seniors and elders being shoved to the ground so violently and cruelly. So it's important that we're working together, and I'm looking forward to the convening, and I'm thankful to our big city mayors across the state of California for their hard work, and we will get more done when we work together.
A new law goes into effect in July that requires the Attorney General to investigate police shootings of unarmed civilians. Doesn't this already happen at the local level? Is it necessary, and if so, how will you move forward with this?
These investigations can happen at the local level, but they haven't always. And it's really important that we have thorough, comprehensive, accurate outside investigations of officer-involved shootings that result in the death of an unarmed Californian, because that's what the law requires. AB 1506, a bill that I, as an Assembly member, was proud to co-author with my colleague, Assembly Member Kevin McCarty, goes into effect on July 1st for the first time. And we expect that the California Department of Justice will be responsible for about 40 investigations of officer-involved shootings that result in the death of an unarmed Californian each year. So we are absolutely committed to getting staffed up, making sure we're ready on day one to do this well, to do it right, to get on the ground early in the investigation, to collect evidence and preserve it, and present a case for consideration of charging, for a charging decision. And it is very important. It's because it's the duty and responsibility of the California Attorney General based on the law of California.
You're also going after criminal misconduct by state law enforcement. What can you tell us about this recent arraignment of 2 former CHP officers who are accused of taking bribes to falsify vehicle registration? That's one of the things you're going to be looking at.
We will hold accountable anyone who commits a crime based on the investigation that we've conducted, or that an allied jurisdiction has conducted, to make sure that people are brought to justice. And here in this case, there was an investigation into 2 California Highway Patrol officers that were inappropriately taking bribes and changing DMV records and CarMax records for cars that are in the gray market, meaning cars that might not meet the emission standards or other requirements to be legal in California, and that's wrong, and it's against the law. And we're saying loud and clear, whoever you are, whatever your position, if you violate the law, we will hold you accountable.
And you're also seeking a dollar-for-dollar matching grant to assist local authorities to reduce the backlog of unprocessed sexual assault evidence. How big is this issue, and how much money and time will be dedicated to addressing it?
It's a big issue. Every sexual assault evidence kit that has not been processed means that there is a survivor who has not been given justice. And we owe it to survivors as well as to California and to our system to actually process this evidence and make sure that we go where the evidence leads. And there's a significant backlog throughout our local jurisdictions in the state of California. It is very important to me that justice be done for survivors, so we wanted to lean in early with important resources to help those who need the resources to process these sexual assault evidence kits throughout the state of California. So it's a significant problem, it's a priority for me, and we are making significant inroads with our dollar-for-dollar matching grant.
California Attorney General Rob Bonta, thank you for your time and joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.